Hey, good morning. I'm John F. Gately. You can call me Jack, broadcasting to you from beautiful Plymouth. It's going to be a scorcher today. Looking out the studio window. All it feels a little warm here. Of course, the third floor of the house gets a little warmer than the rest of the house. The AC does work. We're going to talk about how often you can run your AC in the future on today's show. But the AC, as of this morning, does work. Which is good. But because I live real close to the beach, about a half mile, and we do have a nice little breeze here. So maybe head down to the beach later. I don't know. Got a lot to do for work today other than bringing you this very exciting live show. I'm really pumped up about, I don't know if you can tell already, I am very pumped up about this show today. We're going to talk about Healey's flip-flop. Going to talk about a flip-flop from Mora in today's show, how long you might be able to actually run your air conditioner. We have the Boston Globe or Boston.com, same thing, covering for the loose ice hotline, basically telling lies about them. But first, the number one question for me is, we're always told Massachusetts is the leader. Massachusetts, where's our riot? Come on, lefties. Where's the riot? We got riots in Seattle and Chicago and no riot here. Where is the riot? Where is the riot? Where is the riot? What? They're so lame here in Massachusetts. I went to the protest the other day, and once they marched down the street, escorted by the Boston Police Department, of course, blocking traffic. Marked down School Street, took a left onto Washington and into City Hall Plaza. And then they just basically went home. No riot, no cars burned. You know, what's the fun in that? What's the fun in that? The good news is that Gavin Newsom, let's see if we bring up this clip here. Gavin Newsom is promising it's coming. Here he is last night, I think, on CNN or someplace like that.
California may be first, but it clearly will not end here. Other states are next. Democracy is next.
Democracy is next. Wait a second. Aren't riots like the opposite of democracy? Just checking. I'm pretty sure riots are opposite of democracy. Angry Survivor says, "Viva la revolution." Yes. Yeah. I should have had my Che shirt today. I don't have one, but maybe I can get one. Maybe I can get, only in America, in capitalism, could I order a Che shirt this morning and get it delivered this afternoon? Right? I have to show my revolutionary spirit by, I bet you we could all actually perform this function here by going on Amazon to show you how awesome capitalism is. Shea t-shirt. Here it is here. I got it right here. Do they have it on Prime? I can get it by Sunday. Oh no, I can. Here it is here. This is how awesome capitalism is. You can get a Che shirt. There it is right there. I can get that. I didn't shut that. I didn't turn that light on. Oh, well. I can get it tomorrow. for $26. For $26. There we go right there. I don't know if you can see this, but I can get this t-shirt right here because of capitalism. Because of capitalism, I can show my revolutionary spirit by tomorrow afternoon. You can't make this shit up. All right. So I think the subhead above this soundbite from Gavin Newsom is very important from Stephen Miller. The entire Democrat Party is committed to the singular proposition of migrant flooding every city in the United States. That is true, Stephen. Good job for you. Here is Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles. She's going to tell us why they're looting stores in LA.
A week ago, everything was peaceful in the city of Los Angeles and in all of the representatives behind me in their cities as well. Things began to be difficult on Friday when raids took place.
Oh, it was the raids that caused the problem.
And it's important that I begin there because that is the cause of the problems that have happened in the city of Los Angeles and other cities.
Oh, you see, law enforcement is the problem. Enforcing our laws, that's the problem.
This was this was provoked by the White House. The reason why, we don't know.
Yeah, we know, because we won the election. They lost, we won, and now we are enforcing the law. It's just as simple as that. To paraphrase Rush in his famous quote, which I did yesterday on X, the riots are caused by the rioters. Right? Or as I relayed to you yesterday in listening to Rush back in 1992, the riots won't stop. They must be stopped. And the riots are caused by the rioters. They're not caused by the verdict in the trial. They're not caused by the verdict in the trial. They're not caused by law enforcement. They're caused by rioters. That's the cause of the riots. So, like, it's really easy linear logic, not that hard to figure out. Karen Bass, someday you'll figure it out. Here is our new hero, Todd Lyons. Let's bring him up on the full screen here. Out on Fox last night getting interviewed. Here's his take on what's happening.
I'm actually out here in LA. I've been on the ground since Saturday with the folks, seeing this stuff firsthand. And what I can tell you is it's pure anarchy. When you have elected leaders saying that it's
pure anarchy. I'm actually still laughing about how I can get a Chase shirt delivered tomorrow for $26. I should just order it.
It's peaceful. And as long as you dodge the burnt cars, or, no one's been shot, no one's been hit in the head, that's totally wrong. I can tell you from firsthand experience what the brave men and women of ICE, the brave men and women of the Department of Justice, all our federal partners, and the brave men and women of the Los Angeles Police Department have been dealing with day in, all night long. It's bad out here. And to think that all we're trying to do is our law enforcement mission, and we have to deal with this, it's so un-American.
Oh, it's your fault. Karen Bass said it's your fault. It is un-American. You're exactly right, Todd. It is absolutely un-American. This is an insurrection. This is very insurrection-y. That's exactly what it is. It's inherently un-American. The far left has now become, and the Democrat Party and the far left are now the same thing. There's no more regular lunch pail Democrats anymore. Effectively un-American. And I don't mind saying it because that's just what it is. It's the truth.
On so many different scales. I'm actually out here.
All right, so that's the end of the clip there. But they hate America and everything it stands for. Even though this morning I posted that picture of Rebecca Winter from Massachusetts 50501 or whatever the hell it's called, and she's waving the American flag. She had a video which I couldn't even stomach to post to X, wrapped up in all the American revolutionary symbols, because they're implying that they are the new patriots. Literally, as their comrades burn the American flag in Los Angeles, they're waving the American flag here in Massachusetts. Let me tell you, Rebecca, once the revolution starts, all of your people are going to burn the American flag, burn the Constitution, and tear down the system. That's what you want. You believe that the entire American system is built on a system of oppression and it's the white people that oppress everybody else. It's a system of white oppression, and you want to tear it all down. And instantly that means burning the American flag and everything American stands for, because you've checked out of the system. The entire Democrat Party, as being demonstrated by these riots, has checked out of the system. And we're no longer arguing about like normal things about like, should we have bike lanes or not? Right. Okay. That's a discussion we can have, but should the tax rate be X or should it be Y? But everyone's in the same boat that, we believe in America, like the famous line in the beginning of The Godfather. But we're way beyond that with what's happened with the Democrat Party, which has been a theme that we've discussed on this channel ever since the election in November. Like, what's going to happen with the Democrat Party? And we were a much healthier country when we were arguing about sex with an intern in the White House. We were a much healthier country because two major parties were much closer together, right? Back in remember when the Al Gore and his wife, they wanted to censor record labels, right? Or songs. Remember that? And yeah, they were conservative. And now that the Democrats have just gone completely off a cliff, it's to the point where it's scary. It's to the point where it's absolutely scary. And this is scary. Here's a clip from, I believe this is from Seattle last night. A little wider shot. How many people there are in that shot? Maybe 400 or 500 people there, and it looks like they're burning some type of dumpster. Literally, Seattle is a dumpster fire right there. Literally, Seattle is a dumpster fire in this clip. And was that Seattle? I just want to check it for you. Yes, that was a clip from Seattle last night. So the question becomes, where is our revolution? Where is our revolution? We had the destruction of Worcester City Hall the other day. Of course, there's your, what do you call that thing on the head? Is that Khalifa or whatever, however you pronounce it? I was shocked by how many of those headdress thingies that I saw in Boston the other day at the protest. There were way more headdress thingies than there were signs about ICE, right? Way more. That was the protest that I saw at the State House the other day was struggling with my days. Tuesday evening was much more pro-Hamas. It was much more of a pro-Hamas rally than it was an anti-ICE rally. Okay, I think I finally nailed that. But here we are having Worcester, where we had the revolution start, but it kind of fizzled out when they closed down the meeting. But all of these intersectionality things are coming together because it's all basically the same story. It's the imperialism oppressors, and they have to be thrown out, right? That's basically the same thing. As Stephen Miller, once again, describes, sometimes issues in life are refined to a point of perfect clarity and utter simplicity. The future of the Democrat Party offers America, in every sense of the term, is a third world nation. All other issues in our national life are derivative of this fact. And whether we talk about the pro-Hamas people or the trans-Tifa or you name it, everything from the Democrats is devolving out of this theory that we talked about yesterday in the show, very well described by Mr. Schellenberger, that effectively it's all about oppressor and oppressed. And of course, the worst, awfulest oppressors are white people. White people are horrifically bad. Anybody that's non-white are basically godlike people, right? That's where we're at because all Democrats can see is color. All Democrats can see is color. But what Mr. Miller here offers is that their vision for the world is for America is a third world nation. The vision for the Democrats is a third world nation. And when you hear things like, how do I want to say this? This new Democrat talking point called, which is about abundance. What's his name? Ezra Klein or whatever. They're all about how Democrats can show abundance. We have to be the party about abundance. Democrats are exactly the opposite of that party. Everyone will be equal and equally miserable, right? Here is their candidate for New York mayor. And here's somebody speaking at a rally. Fatima Muhammad, we will turn your life into a nightmare. This is from Canary, what are they called? Canary, you know the thing. Canary thing, you know the thing. And here is Zoe Haran, who, because of ranked choice voting, might actually become the next mayor of New York. Listen.
Now, an extremist from within their ranks is running for mayor, Zohran Mamdani. Here are 3 critical reasons why Zohran Mamdani is not just unfit for office, but poses a serious threat to the very people he claims to serve. Number 1, Mamdani is affiliated with numerous terror-connected organizations that aim to transform New York City into a battleground.
But more important than that, I am someone who co-founded my college's first Students of Justice in Palestine.
As an undergrad at Bowdoin College in Maine, Mamdani co-founded...
How do you go to Bowdoin College in Maine and then become a revolutionary? Well, actually, I don't know. That question might answer itself.
The Students for Justice in Palestine chapter. This group openly supports Hamas, and its activists seek to overthrow the U.S. government.
We must organize at every level.
Mamdani participated.
All right, so enough of that. You can go see that video over at Canary Mission. It's Canary Mission is the name of the account. I'm sorry, I couldn't blanked on that a moment ago. The fact of the matter is, this guy might become the mayor of New York. It's possible. With the ranked choice voting thing, which is inherently undemocratic, he very well might be, even though he's really not favored in the polls. He's down a lot. But because of the ranked choice vote, crazier things have happened, right? So that's going on. That's their vision for a third world country. They don't, to follow up on Mr. Miller's point, they don't want a better America. They want to get rid of America. Here is Mask Fiscal with a great soundbite explaining exactly, and this is what I was talking about when we started the show, about running the air conditioner. Listen.
Unfortunately, due to climate change, having an AC is probably going to be increasingly less optional in
What?
Massachusetts than it used to be. Unfortunately, due to climate change, having an AC is probably going to be increasingly less optional in Massachusetts than it used to be. Unfortunately, due to climate change, having an AC is probably going to be increasingly less optional in Massachusetts than it used to be.
Increasingly less optional. I actually had to bend my mind. Increasingly less optional. So, what does that mean? Okay, so less optional. In other words, it's no longer going to be an option. Having an air conditioner, because of climate change, is going to be less optional. You're less likely to have it. You're going to really appreciate that on a day like today. 87, which is, a hot summer day for us in Florida. They call that a cold front. It's a cold front in Florida, but here in Massachusetts, you're not going to be having air conditioner. It's going to be increasingly less optional. Increasingly less optional. And now you know what I mean when they say third world nation. When they say third world nation, that's what they want. They want your air conditioner to be increasingly less optional. And by the way, once they're able to take away your air conditioner, bye-bye gas stove, bye-bye gasoline combustion engine, not only for your vehicle, but your lawnmower is also a criminal, right? You didn't know that, but highway bridges can be racist. Pete Boot Edge taught us that. And did you know that your lawnmower can also be a criminal? And so we're going to have to get rid of your lawnmower. Get rid of every single gasoline combustion engine. They're all racist and climate criminals. Don't you know that? Why haven't you done it yet? By the way, I do have to cut the grass today. I cut a little bit of it yesterday. I got to cut some more of it today. By the way, very excited to be on the panel for an upcoming event later this month with Massachusetts Fiscal. The keynote speaker will be Robert Bryce, and you can go to massfiscal.org/events to get a ticket to this event, which is Thursday, June 26th at 6 p.m. In downtown Boston. It is free, and you can go over to massfiscal.org/events. On the panel with me will be Mr. Craney, who's the executive director of Mass Fiscal, Ross Conley, he's the state director of AFP, Mark Lombardo, who I endorsed for Minority Leader last year, Mike Urban, YouTube's famous Mike Urban, me, and Jessica Machado. Yeah, so get over there, massfiscal.org/events, and I'll see you there, right? I'm going to be on the very exciting panel. Meantime, talking about Todd Lyons, he is seen through the Mayor Wu yesterday, and he's like, yeah, we'll fully comply. We're happy to tell you who we're taking off your streets in Massachusetts. In fact, he already said that since the surge ended in late May, early June, that there have already been, somewhere buried in this story, I don't want to hurt your eyes scrolling for it, but there have already been several additional really bad guys that have been released since the surge. And so now that the surge is over, you would think that maybe the local politicians would be like, maybe we shouldn't be letting these rapists out on the street. No, they're still out there, and they're still being released. This is who the Democrats protect. Just by the way, a quick side note, Tanya Fernandez Anderson is still in office. If you didn't notice, the mayor, since we were just talking very briefly about her a moment ago, the mayor signed the budget, and I was told that TFA was going to resign. As soon as the budget was done, she was only going to collect paychecks up until then. But apparently this account on X, which must be a parody account, I'm guessing, I asked the parody account how long she's going to be here. Why the budget process is over? Why are you still here? Oh, and then I got the answer. It made a lot more sense when I heard free money from the safest city in the world. So TFA is still collecting a paycheck. And of course she is, right? Of course she is. Let's see if we have any other comments. Kenny says Democrats want a self-fulfilling prophecy. They've been saying it for months. Indeed, they have. Let's see. Kenny also adds, I want my damn gas-powered air conditioner. Mark Lombardo, can't wait to pump up my... I know my wife likes to... She's a heavy AC user. And, yeah, I'm surprised it's not on yet. Although we do still have some nice breeze. It's not that warm yet here in beautiful Plymouth. But I know... she'll close all the windows, and that sucker's going to be burning pretty hard today. Yeah. And yeah, you do get the sense that you just want to turn it down, I guess, for the AC even more, just to spite them. And he was like, my wife's just like, screw it, I'll pay the bill. Just make it cold in here. Which I said yesterday on Twitter. If you want to lose the vote of every post-menopausal woman in Massachusetts, tell them that they can't have air conditioners, right? Right. These people don't think these things through very quickly. The Boston Globe is out with an article, which they published on Boston.com, which is effectively the same thing. They're owned by one of the same, which whitewashes the Loose Ice Hotline. I mean, you can't believe this shit. What is Loose A? The group tracking ice sightings and arrests across Massachusetts. And they go through it saying that they're sending, what is the phrase? I think they said they're sending verifiers. They're sending verifiers to these incidences. Loose A tracks arrests. ICE remains tight-lipped. And they quote Danny Timpona, who is an organizer with the nonprofit Neighbor to Neighbor. What they don't say is what you could otherwise learn if you watch the video, which is the pinned video on my X profile. And that would be that Neighbor to Neighbor is actually where the money goes. So they interviewed Danny Timpona, but they never mentioned that the organization that he works for is where all the donations for the Loose Hotline go to. They don't mention that. They do mention that he was the Loose A dispatcher on call when the community members reported what happened, and that when Loose A sends verifiers to arrive at the scene, they operate within the First Amendment, meaning they are limited to basic documentation in witnessing. Is that what we saw in Worcester? I don't think that's what we saw in Worcester. Let's be perfectly clear. The reason why everything went down on Eureka Street in Worcester, why did it happen in Worcester? It's because the Loose Hotline is located in downtown Worcester, about 3 miles from Eureka Street. And so they're all there. And so they got an alert from basically down the street, and they all drove over there. It's 3 miles away. It took them 3 minutes to get there, 5 minutes to get there. That's why it went down in Worcester as opposed to Fall River or Lawrence. That's why they had the big riot. I'll use the word. That's why they had the big riot. That's why they had the chaos. Karen Bass would have told us it was the fact that ICE made an arrest. Remember how all the media, ICE made a chaotic arrest. No, ICE didn't make a chaotic arrest. The chaos was caused by the rioters led by Worcester City Council Edel Hajii, who has now been charged with a crime, and also failed school committee candidate Spring, who's also got arrested that day and charged with a crime. If you go over once again to my pinned tweet, you can read or listen to my report. It's a 7-minute. We won't report it right here, but we'll probably just listen to the first 10 seconds, 15 seconds. And the mainstream media would have you believe that yesterday's protest in Worcester against ICE was a spontaneous reaction of the community when ICE comes in, rips families apart. Nothing could be further from the truth. It was a coordinated and well-funded operation to make you believe exactly that, with connections, direct connections to Governor Maura Healey and organized labor. Let's walk you through. So to do that report, I put that report up the day after everything went down in Worcester. The day after. It was easy to find out this information. Why the Boston Globe can't find out this information weeks later, does it boggle my mind? No, I know why. Because they don't want to find that information. The fact that the money flows to Neighbor, the fact that Neighbor to Neighbor is run by the executive director, her name is Delita Roca, and that Delita Roca is an appointee to the State Board of Education by Maura Healey, All of that is really easy to find out. Took me less than 24 hours. It never shows up in this Boston.com article. You can't hate the Globe enough. Can't hate the Globe enough. They like just totally whitewash the complete situation. The complete situation. You go read the article and then listen to that 7-minute clip that's pinned to my profile. Notice the difference between somebody who wants to tell you the truth and the Globe. The hearing continues. I don't have all day. Like, I have other things to do. I've got some businesses to run, so I can't just sit in Suffolk County Courthouse all week. But the hearing continues for the judge accused of letting the illegal immigrant out the back door in her potential culpability. It's the disciplinary hearing. It's not a trial. It's a disciplinary hearing. And at the end of the hearing, there won't be any immediate result. We're not going to have an announcement or verdict or anything like that this week. The charges are basically threefold. One, did she compromise the impartiality of the judiciary? 2, did she create an appearance of compromise of the impartiality of the judiciary? And 3, was she less than candid with her supervisors? And today, the hearing officer, because it's not a judge, it's a hearing officer, is going to hear from Judge Backdoor herself. And I don't think they're bringing her to the stand. I don't think they're bringing her to the stand because they believe they've already made their case. I think they're bringing her to the stand because they have to. The simple fact of the matter of the testimony that I saw on Monday and Tuesday when I was there, the prosecutor, so to speak, did a very good job. First with the defense attorney, and then with the prosecutor, and then with the interpreter. And yesterday's testimony was, which I did not attend, was kind of people that weren't as central, because usually you start with your best witnesses and work down. And now the defense, they don't actually have to, if they don't want to, they don't have to put Judge Backdoor on the stand, but they're putting her on the stand today. Why? Because they have to. Because if she doesn't tell her side of the story at this point, because she's just been, devastated by the evidence from these witnesses, then she's going to lose this hearing and maybe even lose her judge. I don't think she's going to lose her judgeship. But she might have to get some retraining or discipline or something like that. And this case is going to dodge her for the rest of her judicial career. And, any type of hope of moving up the food chain is probably lost. The symbolism of this case is so incredibly important because in light of everything that's happening right now, this happened in 2018. And of course, the immigrant issue, just like any issue, whether it's whatever issue it is, pollution, energy, immigrant, things come and go in the news cycle. And right now it's like the hottest story as it has been a lot, but it does come and go. So there's huge symbolism to this, but in a way it has become kind of like quaint, right? If we could all go back to 2018 when our biggest problem was one illegal immigrant getting out the back door of the Newton courthouse, right? In other words, if we could all go back before the invasion, right? Before the invasion, I would definitely take 2018 before I accepted the invasion, right? One guy out the back door compared to millions through our front door, right? Since what's happened, it's 7 years. 7 years to get to this point for this hearing. Ridiculous. And it has become kind of quaint. And that's why I didn't feel compelled. Also, 87 degrees in Boston today. I don't want to sit in a courthouse, which I'm sure is less than well air conditioned. They have one of those things that are in the window with the tubes and stuff. And I was like, I was eyeballing that the other day. knowing that it was going to be hot on Thursday. And I was like, yeah, I don't think so. Not gonna do it. You see, Mark, Representative Lombardo, I don't know how high they can put up the AC at the Suffolk County Courthouse with the window unit. The courthouse has, the courtroom has giant ceilings. So, yeah, I knew it was going to either be ice cold, like bring a winter coat, or it was going to be really hot. And I was like, I'm good. Yeah, we'll just read it. We'll read the account in the newspaper. We'll bring it to you that way tomorrow. But I'm glad I went for those 2 days. Hey, listen, something happened yesterday, which I tweeted out. I tweeted about this or posted about this about a week ago, and I said that 2026 is going to be the AI election. And I know that there's so much hype about artificial intelligence right now that like everything's the AI of this. This is going to be the AI of that. It's a little overdone right now. And because last year was the podcast election, right? But I am thoroughly convinced that this is going to be the AI election. And last night during the NBA playoffs, something happened that I didn't think was ready to happen. I thought it would someday happen, but something happened which was remarkable. A TV commercial ran during the NBA playoffs last night that was produced for approximately $400. And it ran against TV commercials that cost $500,000 to produce. Could you tell it was AI? It was so good, you couldn't really. It was so good, you could not really tell. It's kind of funny. It's for the gambling site. Can I say gambling? I can't even pronounce it. It's we just watch it. You watch this commercial. It's 30 seconds. This played during the NBA playoffs last night. It cost $400 to make.
Indiana gonna win, baby!
We're in Florida asking people what they put their money on! I'm all in on OKC!
Indiana got that dog in them.
Will egg prices go up this month?
I think we'll hit $20. How many hurricanes do you think we'll have this year? Kalshi lets you legally trade on anything, anywhere in the U.S. OKC!
Indy! OKC!
Indiana gonna win,
right,
baby!
We're in Florida asking people what they...
lets you trade on anything. It's basically legalized gambling on anything. Set that aside. But the commercial is exceptionally well done. And we are at the point where right now this costs $400. 3 months from now, 5 months from now, it'll be $150, right? And the variable will be people that have the skill to make content like that, which is a skill. In the same way that years ago, it was free effectively to type into a computer. Some people could type computer code into a computer. Not me. But some people could type computer code into a computer, and all of a sudden they could graduate from college and be making as much as me. Right? Those days appear to be over, wicked over. And the pendulum is shifting to people with actual ideas, people with actually creativity, because the friction, as the tech people like to call it, the friction between creativity and actually having a viable product is less and less. This guy that made this commercial, he did not get an actor to sit in a pool with a bunch of eggs and a TV reporter. All of that is fake. Fake, fake, fake. Although it's still super real, isn't it? I thought last night, like, what type of TV commercial could I make? And there's this Mayor Wu is remodeled Copley Plaza, and I thought that would make a good video. I could go do man of the street interview and give people an opportunity to tell me their 2 cents about what they think of Copley Plaza and the remodel, which has a lot of pavement on it or concrete. And then I said to myself, as I've been watching this development for the last several weeks, then I said to myself, why would I do that? Why would I travel to Boston, get out a camera, spend 2 hours talking to people when I could just sit here at my desk and make an AI commercial and have the people say what I wanted them to say, which would probably be funnier than what they would say in real life? I want you to think about that and what it means for our election cycle coming up soon. Duncan Burns. You may have seen Duncan Burns. He has come up with any number of AI generated videos, or including AI. And yesterday, from what I understand, he has now produced his own AI song, an original. Don't steal it. But he has now produced his own AI song. It's kind of a death metal song, which is not my favorite. But we will take a very quick listen. And I'm pretty sure he used AI to produce this song called Invasion, Massachusetts. 2025. It's a 2-minute and 49-second. We will only listen for a moment. Come on, song. Duncan, it's not playing. Oh, gotta go down here. Okay, Boomer. It's not playing. Maybe I'll just hit. Let's get out of that and hit refresh. Maybe that will try it. Maybe that will work. Okay, let's bring it back up again. Okay, not my style, but.
Massachusetts streets, the anger grows strong. Invaders walk freely, where do we belong?
Something about invaders walking freely. Okay, bro. Okay, it's not Brian Wilson. Rest in peace. It's not Brian Wilson, not the Beach Boys, the vintage Beach Boys, but it's an amazing thing that you could now create all of this content, and really the only variable is the creativity, not as much as the technical skill that you need or the big budget that you needed to make a TV commercial with. So if some knucklehead real estate broker, or actually, I think Duncan's in the real estate business too, or somebody like Duncan Burns spends a weekend making a video that is as good as any attack ad, and he can do it for $300, where other, let's say, legacy media outlets are producing ads for 20, 30, 40, whatever they get paid for that. Wow. That's a huge swing. That's a huge swing, and it's gonna mean a lot. By the way, the TV ad that we showed you earlier, not only did it cost him like $400, he did it in 2 days. He produced that ad in 2 days. It has 14 or 15 scenes to it. 14 or 15 scenes to it. Let's cut to more Healey. Yesterday, or the day before, I'm just scrolling down to wherever this is covered here. Don't see it. I thought I highlighted it, but I guess not. I thought it was in the playbook, but maybe not. Maybe it's over here. Yesterday, or the other day, Maureen Healey said she was going to be investigating the millionaires tax, that they're collecting data, and that she was concerned about outward migration. And I told you somewhere, either on this show or on Twitter or X, that she was going to get spanked by the left, that the left is not going to be very happy with any questions about the millionaire's tax. They don't allow creative thought. They don't allow anybody to apply critical thinking. They don't allow any deviation. Get in line, Maura. And don't you know that by yesterday afternoon, she had already gotten back in line. She got smacked around by the left because she's petrified of a primary next year. And so if you read the, for instance, State House News headline here we bring it up here. Healey reiterates support for income tax surcharge. In other words, she's walked it back. She's flipped and flopped once again, which leads us to Mr. Horowitz from Tufts University. And this very interesting quote. First, he has the quote from the Globe, which you can't read, but that's all right. Let's focus on Mr. Horowitz's take on this situation. The issue with the millionaire's tax isn't outward migration. That's interesting, Mr. Horowitz. He implies that outward migration is rare. Then is there a problem? Well, he asserts that there still is a problem, and he says it's people hiding their money and eroding the regular state income tax. Oh, well, isn't that special? So I asked a follow-up question of Mr. Horowitz on this beautiful X platform that they had. And effectively, I think the most important one is question number 2. By hiding their money, what did he mean by that? Are they being smarter about their tax avoidance? Are they committing criminal tax evasion? Or is there some type of other loophole out there that I can't even conceive of? And Mr. Horowitz basically said that it's mostly tax avoidance. In other words, they have better accountants, and they're getting better accountants. Oh, what just happened there? We just moved the whole camera. They're getting better accountants. There we go. That's better. They're getting better accountants. Well, that was freaky. Hey, it's a one-man show. Take it or leave it. And by the way, it's free. Everything free in America. They're getting better accountants. And I thought that was really interesting that the millionaire's tax is eroding the regular state income tax, because now all of a sudden you really have the attention of the millionaires, if I can extrapolate what Mr. Horowitz is saying. And the millionaires are like, I don't want to look like I'm a millionaire. Oh, now I get it. You don't want to put yourself up in that bracket because you're going to get whacked by the millionaire's tax. So therefore, you creatively, with as many accounting mechanisms as possible that are legal, you get yourself below that, which means that you don't have to pay the surtax, but also lowers your regular income tax while you're at it. In other words, the millionaire's tax has turned all of these wealthy people into people who are really sharpening the pencil when it comes to filing their taxes. People that are making 800, 900, $1 million more. If whatever they can do to get themselves under that surcharge, they're doing, which also erodes the regular tax. Now I get it, right? Now I get it, Mr. Orts. Thank you for explaining it. And so while you have advocates that are saying they're producing whatever the number was, I'm going to just throw it out. I'm probably wrong. 2.6 billion or something. What we don't talk about is how much maybe we might be losing in regular state income tax. This sounds very Laffer curve, right? And effectively, it's what we're talking about. As you increase the rate, you might decrease your revenue. That's exactly what's happening. Of course, that's blasphemy as far as the left is concerned. Really interesting point of view here. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that the millionaire's tax went into effect in January of 2023. And that means we have 1 tax year, 2 tax years of experience. But we don't really have, I don't think we have seen data from 2023 and data from 2024 as to the outward migration. We might still see outward migration when we get that data coming in. Mr. Shortsleeve said something about this yesterday or the other day. He said Massachusetts lost $10.6 billion in AGI net out migration between 2020 and 2022. More in those years alone than $10 billion it lost. 2023 numbers, that's the part I was interested in. 2023 numbers will be out soon. 2023 numbers will be out soon. By the way, Mr. Shortsleeve's X account continues. I looked again. I don't see any statement about the riots or ICE. I don't see anything on that. I'm confounded by that. But I did use his account because I'm eager to see, and I think a lot of people are eager to see the 2023 data. And I think that's what the governor was alluding to. She was like, maybe we should look at the 2023 data. And all the lefties are like, no, don't look at the data. Don't look at the data. All right. I hope you have a great day. Stay cool. And I think we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.